Welcome back to the Ohio Business Podcast. I'm your host, Stephen Pohl. I'm joined today with Premier Pour Bartending owner, Brennan Stanford. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me. I greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Well, first off, just kind of give us a breakdown of what Premier Pour offers and just kind of a background of your story as well.
So Premier Pour Bartending is a mobile bar and bartending service company. We specialize in weddings, corporate events, private parties, basically go anywhere and everywhere that doesn't already have a liquor license on site. We work with our customers to be able to provide, the portable bars, cups, straws, napkins, all the dry goods, all the mixers, all that sort of stuff. And then our clients are just based on the state of Ohio and state of Michigan liquor laws. Our clients are responsible for providing the alcohol, but we provide everything else. And so we've been around for, I want to say, 2010. We actually started the LLC and had the Premier Pour Bartending name, but I've been bartending at this point for 15 years now.
So you just saw kind of a opportunity to kind of expand on your bartending services?
Yeah, absolutely. We kind of had, when I was bartending down in college, we had two regulars that asked us to do, or asked me to do the bartending for their weddings. And I realized that, there was really kind of a market for it because, there really wasn't anything like this that existed previously. So, kind of capitalized on it then. And, we're doing, this year on the calendar already, we've got 91 events booked, whether it be, wedding, corporate event, private party, again, fundraisers. We do a lot of fundraisers as well. Got a whole lot on the calendar already this year.
So can you speak more about the advantage of having that liquor license come to just where at that venue instead of going maybe some other route?
Yeah. So basically, like I said, this, in the state of Ohio, there's no such thing as a mobile liquor license. The only thing that means is we cannot legally purchase alcohol at wholesale cost and then resell it to our customers. So basically, the client benefits in the fact that they're able to purchase alcohol at state minimum cost without any sort of markup or anything on it. They save a ton of money by doing it that way. And then we'll provide, basically we'll walk them through the process to figure out how much alcohol that they need for their event. And then, make sure that they have it there the day of. And then again, we provide everything else for them. And, they're able to save, hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, depending on how much alcohol that they're purchasing and, what the guest count is for the event. They're able to save a ton of money by utilizing our services, plus, being able to buy their own alcohol. And at the end of the day as well, they're able to take all of the alcohol that they purchased home.
Oh, wow. Bring the party back home, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Keep it going. So obviously, you're kind of focused on weddings, events, fundraisers, and that was all stripped away because of COVID. Can you kind of speak on just, initial reactions to COVID and kind of how you made it through that period?
It was kind of wild because, right at the beginning of it, it was probably a week or two right before everything started getting shut down. We had been in a small office in Uptown Maumee for a little while. And then we ended up getting a 1,200 square foot warehouse, couple offices and whatever else, literally 2 weeks, signed the lease 2 weeks before COVID happened. And then everything started getting shut down. So it was a bit nerve wracking, the fact that there were no events happening, no revenue stream coming in because, people are having zero events and we're an event-based business.
Mm-hmm.
But luckily, people were kind of planning ahead and, a couple months after the initial shock of COVID, people started having smaller events, or they were kind of pivoting to, their backyard and only having 20 to 30 people, keeping it small, something like that,
Mm-hmm.
minding all of the restrictions and all of the rules at the time, kind of did the best that we could to still make sure that they had the event and the wedding that they wanted. Wanted is a bit of a stretch.
Yeah. Best case scenario for the situation.
Yeah, absolutely. So we were still able to get some events in towards the end of 2019 or 2020. And then into, the beginning of this year. We had a bunch of events, at the beginning of, January, February, typically, in the state of Ohio, pretty much, a slow wedding season. But people were choosing to do other things other than, the typical, May through October, November wedding season.
Mm-hmm. Now, are you, as COVID kind of the impact is lessening, are you seeing more demand for, events?
Absolutely. We're seeing a lot of people. I mean, basically people are trying to still have their wedding, and then you have everybody that rescheduled or had to change all of their plans and move everything into this year, combined with the people that still wanted to have their wedding this year in the first place. So, a lot of people are competing for different, for their prime wedding date at their venue, that might not be available. So they're picking their second or third or fourth venue because they might have that date available. So at this point, we're kind of still packing, almost 2 years worth of weddings into 2021.
Wow. So you guys really just packed it in there, huh? That's just COVID, I guess. But so how big is your team then?
So we have, it's myself, and then we probably have a team of, solid team of 12 to 14 bartenders that are, on staff regularly. At this point, we're probably going to have to hire some more bartenders because of the amount of events that we're seeing that people want to have towards the end of the year. So we're definitely expanding the team. As of this year, the largest event that we've ever done, we had 40 people working for the event, between bartenders, servers, event captains, bussers, all that sort of stuff, kind of people just helping out with logistics of the event and everything. So that was the largest event that we've ever done. But we regularly have, large fundraiser events for, organizations that, require, 12, 14, 20 bartenders for a very large fundraiser.
Now, as you kind of ramp up that hiring process, are you seeing any difficulties in that situation? Because I don't know, you kind of on the internet, you kind of see, I don't know, service industry kind of getting hit by people not wanting to work. Are you facing any of those challenges?
So not really, because we have the benefit of we aren't a day-to-day, we don't have events Monday through Friday. It's Monday through Thursday. Most of our events are Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Occasionally you'll get like a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday type, small event for an organization, some sort of corporate networking event or corporate party. You'll see those, throughout the week, but most of our stuff is on the weekend. So a lot of the staff that we have, a lot of the bartenders and servers that we have full-time day jobs on top of, doing this as well.
Okay. Now I found you through Instagram, I believe. Can you kind of touch on what your marketing strategy is?
Mackenzie handles all of that. So
Okay.
she does a fantastic job with all of our social media and everything. Social media is a lot to take on. There are a lot of different platforms and a whole lot of that. As far as marketing goes, I mean, we just kind of cater to, the clientele that we're looking for. We do a lot of social media posts. We really try to stay active and engaged in everything on there. When it comes to actual print marketing, we don't do a ton of print marketing. It's more social media advertising. Definitely social media posts, but then we combine that with some social media advertising, and then out of home as well. Occasionally we'll do some digital billboards, certain things like that. And then, in the Toledo City paper, we'll do some like their wedding guide advertising or their catering guide advertising. We'll do some of that stuff, but not a ton.
Okay. Yeah, it seems like a fun business to advertise for. A lot of opportunity on social media.
Yeah, absolutely. And we actually, last night there's a brand new event venue opening up. So we were asked by them to come out and do a styled photo shoot. So you'll see a lot of venues or other wedding professionals, event professionals doing styled photo shoots and getting doing other networking with other vendors and other professionals to come in, and everybody brings their piece of the pie, so we can all get some great shots and everything, and really kind of promote each other's businesses and all that.
Now it seems, in my short years of being 21, that the liquor and alcohol industry has changed dramatically. I mean, the introduction of seltzer, just taking over the world, and just different types of IPAs and along that sort of line. Can you kind of touch on that? I don't know why. Would you know why that's just become a thing, and how that seltzers maybe became that popular?
Absolutely. So I have been in the alcohol industry for 15 years now. I'm also my full-time day job is in the alcohol industry. With a local beer distributor. So, what we see is, I mean, we see these trends changing all the time. Seltzers have come in and made a huge impact. Now everybody wants their piece of the pie when it comes to seltzers. There's some great ones out there, and then there's some stuff that comes out and it doesn't do that great. So then they discontinue it, and, but somebody else is still going to fill that footprint in the market. What we kind of see now is a lot of people that, it's the generation of, people that are now 21 that grew up drinking, possibly like, the more sugary beverages. So Kool-Aid and Capri Sun and, all that sort of stuff. You get the people that joke about like, the adult Capri Suns and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It is that generation of people that grew up drinking those beverages, which 20 years before that, those weren't very popular whatsoever. So now that translates into the alcohol world, where you're seeing people that want to drink, the flavored beverages versus, your regular Miller Lite or something like that.
Yeah.
It's definitely changing.
Yeah, because even the previous generation, they were drinking like pop. That was kind of their. They were just introduced to soda and things, so they like rum and Coke, vodka Sprite, maybe a little bit more. But it has been interesting to see how even the male demographic has taken on the seltzer industry. Because I remember when I first saw one of them, I was like, wow. That is absolutely crazy. I'm never going to drink that. And then I will actually drink seltzers and every guy gets them.
They are all over the place. It doesn't matter who you are. I mean, the demographic, they aren't really necessarily targeting any certain demographic at this point. There are certain brands that are really kind of trying to pick their niche in the market. So if you look at like, a Vizzy seltzer, like the Vizzy hard seltzer, which is a Molson Coors product, they're going, they've got vitamin C and antioxidants in there. So you're really kind of seeing like the better for you category combined with the seltzer. So you're seeing stuff like that. And then, Bang energy drink. Bang is coming out with a seltzer. It doesn't have any caffeine in it. Yeah, it doesn't have any caffeine in it because you can't, after some federal legislation came down, at least
For Loco.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
So they basically said that you can no longer add caffeine to alcohol as a prepackaged product.
Now, kind of going back to the Premier Pour, what's the kind of the competition like in the Toledo area and just your competitors, if you can touch on that?
Yeah, so we have a lot of catering companies will offer bartending services, but a lot of times catering companies don't specialize in that by any means. It's just kind of a bonus add-on, so they can keep so they don't have to write another check to another professional. It's just we'll also take care of it, so you don't have to worry about anybody else and the logistics of all of that. So there are a lot of catering companies will add it on, but a lot of times catering companies will add it on and then they'll call us and outsource it. And then, there have been a couple mobile bars around here that have popped up. They take, like an old vintage trailer, and kind of turn that into a bar, or like a horse trailer and turn that into a bar. So, there are a couple of other, companies that have popped up recently. But outside of that, I mean, there's really, but then you also have people that they might work at the country club and they might be asked by, a member to do something on the side. They're very typical as well.
Yeah. And you see pedal bikes were huge before COVID.
Absolutely. Those very popular.
Do you see any other types of that mobilized or come to you type drinking evolving even more? Is there anything that you see on the horizon with that type of service?
With the current liquor laws and everything else, I don't really see a ton changing just because of the way that everything is structured. But there's also people out there that are very, very creative that can, definitely figure something out to stay within the liquor laws, but come up with something fun and new and exciting.
Do you know how pedal bikes are even allowed? I know that maybe you wouldn't know, but I just have to ask because I saw that. I was like, how is that even legal?
So I believe that they operate almost under like a chauffeur's license.
Okay.
In the state of Ohio. So they're an actual vehicle that is authorized by the state of Ohio and based on the driver's license and the commercial, I don't know if it's commercial license or whatever it might be. But I actually did have a conversation with the owner of the Toledo pedal bikes around here, that he had helped write some of the legislation in the city of Toledo and around Ohio, based off of pedal bikes, because he had worked in California doing that for the longest time, and then brought everything to Toledo and kind of got that up and running around here. But essentially, as long as you are on the vehicle or in the vehicle, whatever it might be, you're able to have an open container of alcohol, but it can't be possessed by the driver, within reach of the driver or whatever. I'm not sure all of the laws behind it, but there's definitely some regulation behind transporting alcohol in open container with commercial vehicle type thing.
It really seems like the alcohol laws are starting to be kind of pulled back or just changing kind of rapidly, because Toledo, you can drink, if you got the cup, the certain cup you can drink outside. In Columbus, that's in a few spots. So it seems like it's really changing just the total. I don't know why that is, but it seems like it's just becoming more lax in general in Ohio specifically. I don't know about elsewhere.
Yeah, so basically what you're kind of seeing is people that are interested in having like a good a drink or two, and being able to go outside and enjoy themselves, and because people love to be outdoors.
Yeah.
So being able to take a good IPA and go sit out on the park bench, or grab a picnic table or something and enjoy a beer. They're really trying to target these downtown, what's in Toledo is called a downtown. It's the Dora, which is a downtown outdoor refreshment area. So they targeted a specific area of downtown in the city of Toledo and said, this is where our entertainment district is. So this is where we should allow people to congregate and enjoy themselves, and really kind of you can walk outside with a beer. What you can do is you can walk outside the bar with that cup, but you have to finish it and throw the cup away before you walk into the next establishment. You can't legally take alcohol from one establishment into another establishment.
Yeah, that also blew my mind when it was first introduced, but I don't know. But
we have in the state of Ohio, we have liquor laws that still date back to Prohibition.
Wow, that is crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, just I don't know. Maybe it just seems like weed legalization is coming through in multiple states. I don't know. This is happening. It seems just like maybe it's a tax thing. I don't know why they're doing it, but it is interesting to watch them kind of pull back regulations on those type of.
It's it's a combination of the lawmakers that have been voted in, and then a combination of that with the lobbying groups, and kind of where the beverage alcohol industry wants to see the direction of everything go. Again, bureaucracy and laws and all that sort of stuff, that's well beyond my pay grade. So I'll let them handle all of that.
Bureaucracy sounds like a good IPA name, honestly. But kind of going on to the entrepreneurial side of what you do, what currently is, or where do you spend the most of your time, the bulk of your time?
Responding to emails.
Yeah,
I would definitely say responding to emails. We get a very heavy flow of inquiry and requests. So fielding those and kind of explaining to people basically the laws, because there's a lot of misconceptions about how alcohol laws work, and people just kind of think sometimes it's a free for all. But kind of trying to walk people through how to keep people safe and how to keep people having a good time. While still staying within liquor laws, and trying to navigate the logistics of their event. Because if you have a wedding of 300 people, trying to get people to understand that you taking and turning a barn that was built in 1882, trying to turn that into a wedding venue where you want to serve 300 people. Logistically, you have some concerns with that. But it's just a lot of it is really just kind of the back and forth with people.
Mm-hmm. And we kind of touched on this a little bit earlier, but what's the next steps for Premier Pour? Is it expanding outside of the Northwest Ohio area, or just what's your plans for the future?
Right now, with as busy as this year is, I have no idea. We have a couple surprises on the horizon, but we also just We got a large format vinyl cutter back in January. We also got some new customizable bar panels for our portable bars. So we're able to do a lot of, cute customization for couples or organizations or businesses on the front of the portable bars for any event that we might be having. And then, we were basically forced this year, because we do have so many events on the books, to, buy more portable bars, back bars, and everything else, more equipment, just because of the demand for our services. So kind of start there, and then, we'll see what, after this whole crazy wedding season gets past us. By that time, it's going to be December. And because, we're starting to see people have, we've got a lot of December, January, February bookings already for weddings. But we're just gonna play it by ear and see what happens. And we just expanded this year as well, and ended up getting an exclusive contract with a venue in downtown Toledo as their exclusive bartending service. So we're taking care of all of their clients down there. They had some issues with previous bartenders that were in there that just weren't as professional. It didn't treat it nearly as professionally as they had wanted. So they asked us to step in and kind of take over the show down there. But outside of that, there are a couple top secret projects that we're working on that will be within the next year or so.
Oh yeah, you had to get through COVID, and then now things are back to normal. You just gotta
right, absolutely.
But handle the demand.
There are another couple of venues that have just popped up recently that have reached out to us to be one of their main bartending services as well. So we're, as they open and kind of see what the demand is at their locations, we'll kind of see what who to put where, and kind of how to shuffle everything around.
I've had a couple event planners on the podcast before, and they talked about how the event industry has changed. Do you kind of see any, events changing? Maybe you're maybe start servicing, I don't know, virtual events somehow. I don't even know if that's possible. Do you see any just kind of change in the future of events?
Yeah. So what we saw, with the whole pivot for everybody with COVID, there's a great community of mobile bar owners across the country, and in fact, across the world. We've got a great group that is very supportive, and really kind of try to figure out how to best serve events. So I know that there are a couple bartending companies around, a couple out of Nashville, Florida. I think there are a couple in California and Nevada as well. I think there's one in Texas that started doing some virtual cocktail classes and everything. So you and a couple of your friends could get together and either get together, everybody do it separately virtually, but you guys kind of learn how to make, cocktails virtually and that sort of stuff. So, but yeah, there's a lot of, we've had some demand and some asks about, for different events to do, virtual stuff, or, even to do cocktail tastings or anything like that. We're definitely able to facilitate that.
Yeah. It seems like, your business is very, you got to stay on top of all this. You got the laws, you got the changing alcohol popularity, and then events are just totally rapid. So it seems like you got to really be in this business to make it work. Really.
Absolutely. This, I have basically 2 full-time jobs, and then you throw a girlfriend and 2 dogs on top of it, and owning a house. That's another couple full-time jobs. So sleep comes at a premium.
Well, it's not called premium sleep.
Right.
Well, as we kind of wrap up the podcast, I always like asking, what is something that you wish you knew before you started? And then what has been your greatest success?
Something I wish I knew before I started. You'll start losing hair and losing sleep because of the event industry. It's a very, very fast-paced, very high energy industry to be in. So, you just got to make sure that you've got your ducks in a row, and luckily I've had the ability to kind of, maximize my ability to handle everything, just because of, combining my love for doing this. My father was a mobile disc jockey for years. So I had seen, seen events, seen large format events that he was at. So I kind of learned a lot when I was younger. But the other thing too is the amount of paperwork that comes with owning a business is,
oh my gosh,
substantial.
every day.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then your biggest success.
Biggest
through the years.
success. I would say, let's see. I don't know.
Hate to put you on the spot.
No, you're fine. No, I've gotten to do, like, with all of this, I've gotten to do some really cool stuff. We've had some awesome clients, and I've been able to experience a whole lot of different things that I never thought would be possible. We're doing, so this coming Saturday, we have a wedding at an airport. I'm big into aviation on the side. Like, I also fly hot air balloons.
Oh, wow.
I have a couple friends that are pilots, and I've been lucky enough to fly, some of their airplanes. Get to do some really cool stuff. But we have a really cool event coming up this Saturday, which is a wedding in Michigan. It's at an airport. The guy's a pilot, super cool guy. A couple of his friends are flying in. So being able to, facilitate, the beverage service for an event like that, especially like wrapping what I love with this business into the whole aviation world, is awesome. I also had, the largest event that we've ever done was probably we had 40 people working on that day, big, long, crazy event day. That's the largest event that we've ever done. But it's just being able to pull off those large events, and being able to walk away and be proud of what you just did.
Well, how can people find you, get in contact with you, find Premier Pour, all that? So
on our website, which is just premierpour.com, we've got Instagram, which is at Premier Pour, Facebook page, which is Premier Pour Bartending. And then our, obviously our phone number is 419-740-0513.
Brennan, Stanford, thanks for coming on Premier Pour Bartending once again.
Awesome, man. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yep.